What they found after talking to 200,000 people in all 50 states was that they compose about 3.5% of our population.
This map shows that in states that have large cities, such as Washington, D.C., the percentage of the population that has identified themselves as homosexual is larger than the states with more suburban areas.
You can find gays and lesbians everywhere in the United States. However, when we look at the places where they concentrate, we found out that they reside in a limited, although growing, number of large urban areas, and within them, they're concentrated in certain neighborhoods.
Coming out as lesbian or gay can be an extremely confusing and stressful process for many individuals. It has been commonly recognized that the scene plays an important role in when a person decides to publicly identify as either lesbian or gay. The scene that researchers are referring to includes cafes and restaurants, clubs and bars, and community resources such as support groups, which are specifically geared toward the homosexual community. Our research focuses on the concept that these supportive scenes are primarily located in urban areas and large cities. Therefore, the coming out experience of a young adult from a city will be very different from that of a young adult from a rural town. The scene in cities allows for people struggling with their sexual identity to escape prejudice and discrimination. Every year in Baltimore, there is a Baltimore Pride Festival. The festival includes different events that encourage acceptance, like the Pride Parade, the Pride Block Party, and a high heel race. Events like this are important because they gather the gay community together and offer mutual support to people with any sexual orientation. These events are popular in big cities and very uncommon in most rural towns. Several studies conducted in the USA have revealed that it is more difficult to identify as lesbian or gay in a rural setting rather than an urban area. But why? How do attitudes of residents in these areas differ when it comes to sexual orientation? Rural communities can be described as conservative and closed. Common variables have been found to impact the attitudes of people residing in rural areas when discussing sexual orientation. These include fear of HIV/AIDS, intolerance of gender nonconformity, their level of religiosity, and the nature of the academic major studied. A study from 2000 found that being a lesbian in rural areas is more difficult than in urban areas, and this leads to higher levels of internalized depression. It was concluded that a main reason for this finding is due to the lack of information and support found in small towns. The scene offers people who identify as lesbian or gay a form of social commitment that can take the place of family relationships. Urban settings offer forms of support which encourage a positive sense of self-identification and sexuality. Even though it is widely agreed that the urban setting makes coming out and accepting one's sexual identity easier, there are also results that include some downfalls of the scene. In many areas that are primarily populated with homosexuals, substance abuse and alcohol abuse and self-destructive behaviors are very common.